Hello, everyone. Happy Monday morning. How is everyone doing? Good morning, Donald. Good morning, Patrick. Patrick, you back at home? How's the weather? It was snowing here this morning. 23 with the wind chill. we, we went from 84 on Saturday to 23 with the wind chill this morning and snowing. It isn't. Uh, where's my global warming? Hello, Sashi. Good morning, Christoph. So who was in the white Mustang smoking a cigar? Christoph. Good morning, Jacob. Uh starting to watch for the next major topping area. Remember, we're not trying to predict. It's set up for one, but it has to follow through. Good morning. We'll take a look. Good morning, John. All right. Empire State Manufacturing Index actually came in much better than expected. Forecast minus 16 to minus 18, coming in at 10.8 and a huge bounce. New order component was very strong in that. Other than that, we don't have much today. We have the housing market index and then nothing. I mean, really nothing. So we had Schwab with earnings this morning, which they beat on adjusted EPS but missed on revenue. And it was sort of a week. I think they're halting their share buyback program also. And remember, that is in a major double top pattern. Hey, Paul. It was Bob. It was Bob, huh? Well, you'll have to cut out a clip of that. Average 25 to 30 just from North Madison with our home. Oh boy. All right. Yeah, post a photo on Discord. Good morning, Heinrich. All right. So everybody in Discord, check that out, please. So that's where we sit. The comm services taken in the shorts today, Google and Meta, but Google were down 3.6%. Really leading sort of the mega caps lower, but the rest is holding up there in the groups. You see comm services, real estate, consumer cyclical. When I see those leading, that's not strong performance. Fed watch, this is getting close at 90%, 85.5 for the 25 basis hike. This is almost getting fully baked in, but remember, we still have the PCE figures coming out, not this Friday, next Friday. Also, remember, this Friday, OpEx. Now, it's not a quarterly OpEx, it's just a monthly OpEx, but it's still an OpEx. Fear and greed, solidly in greed mode. Market valuations, by the way, we're edging up more and more to the high end. And this fairly valued everywhere up in here is my overvalued, and then we get into this area, it's very overvalued. But you see the Buffett indicator overvalued, P to E model overvalued, interest rate model fairly valued, S&P mean revision model overvalued, yield curve model is just through the roof. So there's a bunch of stuff. Now, does that mean we have to roll over? No, but we between hitting some key Elliott wave stuff, between hitting cycles, getting to the top area on the daily and the weekly, and running out of momentum. And here's the S&P breadth. This was a nice chart put out by Morgan Stanley. You can see here's the breadth, the lowest since 2005. And when you have a market that's rallied this much with breadth that's not really upholding it, and I've seen this just by looking at the tape. Now, again, we don't have to roll over. We're not trying to call a short to medium term top. We need to have confirming price action now. But why I'm pointing this out is because there's many things that we could be making a more substantial topping area. That does not mean today has to be the top. It could be this week. I'm looking in the next 2 weeks for the major top, and it's more likely to be this week. In terms of neutral gamma is 41.55. We're trading 41.63, so we're pretty much at neutral gamma. So any rally, again, you get some dealers selling into it. There is some more puts appearing about this 41.50 area. So that can start, we start breaking below 41.50. Towards 4,100, we start getting some put gamma come in, and we start losing some call gamma. And below 4,100, we get some more towards 4,000. Now, it would be interesting if we really start to drop below 4,100 by Wednesday, what that would mean going into OpX. So, Charles Schwab already, I talked about that. Then you had some minor banks. After the close, JB Hunt, and some more minor banks. And then tomorrow we got Bank of America, Johnson & Johnson, Goldman Sachs, Lockheed Martin, BNY Mellon. So tomorrow we get busy. And then after we get Netflix. So keep that in mind also. Where do we sit right now? Who else is in here? Hello, Charles. Good morning, Options 22. Good morning, Anissa. All right. If you tuned in late, you might want to just at the end watch my little comments on watch for that topping area. But daily cycles getting to the top, not rolling over yet. And we still have some major technical damage to do if we're going to roll over. My key support area is coming in at 4147 to 4150. And that's also a return to the daily rotation zone. And this would be the first, second, third, fourth, if we did do that. As I talked about on Friday, we have a trend line. We have the bottom of the rotation zone. I will start to watch for that more substantial topping area on a close below about 4116. And then 4100, 4101 is the 25% harmonic and the bottom of the rotation zone. And then there's not much. It's into a daily clear path move with the next major support not back down to 40.52, which would really kick in some put gamma. So keep, but not saying that's going to happen. We could catch in the rotation zone and still rotate back up. I'm just saying what I'm watching for, and we start rolling down, especially my level on the open. My level on the open is this 4163. Then I'm targeting 4150 to 4148.25. Okay. Breakout. Now we have to analyze both sides because we can't just get into one side or the other. But you see this really strong resistance shelf. Thursday, little pop through on Friday, then the reversal, the shake and bake pattern. This was I didn't point this out on Friday, but this was a classic shake and bake. Horizontal channel. Break to one side, suck everybody in, and then collapse the other side. Then the end of day snapback rally with that little 15-minute double bottom. We're back in that range. So my bull, anywhere in here is just choppy. It's just trading if setups within this range. But above 41.74 with confirming market internals, 41.86 to about 41.90. All right, and what I'm talking about also, weekly. Weekly cycles at the top. Now, this can take a week to roll over. And you see, we could still poke out a higher high. We could still poke out a higher high and make a nice weekly divergence up here. I'm not ruling that out. So nobody jump on my case. Say, oh, I'm always bearish. No, I am watching. As I said, technical damage really starts happening once we break below this 41.15, 41.16. And that's minor. Got to get below that 4,100 before it really starts kicking in. NASDAQ, daily cycle's not yet at the top, but getting closer. Weekly at the top and rolling over. But you see on the weekly chart about 12,950 is the first key support. And that's both support on the daily and the weekly. We start getting a close below that. I will sit up and take notice because now we're below the daily rotation zone. For the bull case, 13,260. I start watching for a retest of 13,350 next week. I mean, from last week, next week. And then some potentially higher. Also, if you're more of a very short-term trader, that's where I use the reverse harmonics. 13,401, 13,454 if we break above 1350. Good morning, Dave. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, Paul, if we can glance at that really quick. Dow, we start breaking below 34,000. That's just where the level happens to be. Nicest round number two. 30, 33,800 is really my first support, and that would take us into the rotation zone. We don't get major technical damage in the Dow, though, below 33,450. Shorter term, we start breaking above 34.2, 34,270, and then 34,331 are my targets higher. Also, Dow, weekly topping area against major resistance. Again, we could easily still push higher. Something happens at the beginning of the week, we could still push higher, but this 34,450 is a major, major resistance area. See it up here? Top from November, top from January, top from February into this topping area in April with the snow showers. Russell, major resistance 1820, major support 1761. In here, it's just chop mode. It's just chop mode. I can't get really overly bullish till above 1818. Minor going in the open would be around 1811. Key supports, watch 1783 is a major support level if you're a Russell trader. VIX, again, slight elevated from Friday's extremely low close, which I covered, but I'll take a little notice if we start getting some momentum above about 1834. The DAX, still watching also for a DAX topping pattern to come in. The little mini double top is still technically on the table, so that's what I'm watching for, but that's only back in, it's lower probability it's back into the daily rotation zone. We start getting technical damage below about 15,600. Notes, keeping a close eye on this if we break below about 114.11. There's a lot of stopping points, so it's not going to be an easy trade, but I'm going to be watching. That's the most recent major support area. And you see the yields trying to really pop back up. 10-2s, markets I think are starting to take another rate hike seriously. 10-2s still in consolidation. Dollar index, seeing if we can get some follow through to 101.80. Watching for a more significant bottoming pattern in here now. But we don't have it yet. We could easily still roll over in the rotation zone again. But we start getting a move on the dollar index, you could really, that's going to contribute to a more bearish market. Crude, if we break below about 81.80, support coming in about 80.90 to 81. We have to start getting a close below there before I watch for more of a pullback in the rotation zone against that 200. If, though, the other thing I'm watching for, we're getting now finally cycles back towards the bottom and out overbought. So far, this has just been, I mean, I classify this as still a sideways correction, even with this little pop-up. So if we get above 83.50, watching for a breakout play at 85.25 area. Natty gas, now we're starting to get the breakout above the rotation zone, so we got to watch for some follow through. And now any pullback, and this is a very short term trade because there's been a lot of stopping areas. And this isn't a double, by the way, anymore. But 242. Gold, I'm also starting to watch for a more of a pullback pattern, a multi-week pullback pattern in gold. But key support 1997 today. Japanese yen, the 10 years climbing back to 50 area, and looks like we're going to trigger on a closing basis this confirmed double today. So we could see a continued rally in the US dollar, Japanese yen over the next few days to weeks. Euro starting to pull back finally into the rotation zone, but not major technical damage done yet. The next major support area is about 109.20 to about 109.30. The pound still has this double top pattern. Watching to see if we do close below 123.40 area. Bitcoin pulling back into a support area about 28,800. Tesla looks like a slight gap up, but still in consolidation. Remember, Tesla earnings are Wednesday. So major resistance 190.70. Major support coming in about 180. Everything in there is just short-term trading. The spiders and the Qs. These spiders, let me just take some of this off right now. You're trading pretty much at Friday's close. Resistance, we're trading 412.50 right now. 413.50 is 413.45 to 413.50 is the first level on any rally, and then there's not much to 415. All right. So that, and on this, I would choose forward harmonics, and just because of this topping area and the minor forward harmonics. So 416.27, 417.44. If it breaks the upside, key support is now about 411.60. All right. Below that, you're watching between Friday's lows. You're watching around the 409.75 to 410 for support. The Qs, slight gap down from Friday. Watch about 316.80 and then 315.80 for support, and then 314.65, and then major support 313.11. To the upside, target, well, you'd have the minor gap fill target to 318.57. Then you're looking about 319.25 and 320.50. Above there, 322.77. Paul wanted Roblox with the there's a gap and a half down, and this was which is, I'm just pointing this out, it's already done. It was a valid for the first and second targets. So when this happens, just your key resistance is 401.80, and then above that, I just look at your harmonic retracement, but you also now are below the 50. So I'd really target on, for anybody on the short side on this, I'd target about 38.60 to 39.15 as a target for a more substantiated rollover play. Even if it bounces, I'd be watching for a reversal pattern in Roblox. So yeah, it is nutty Chi-Town weather. QCOM, I can check QCOM. This is an ugly head and shoulders, a very ugly head and shoulders. Shoulder, head, shoulder, and it is reversing this move. So no double, but you can trade this as a sloppy head and shoulders, and you have all the key support moving averages out of the way. And I'd use a horizontal. So 117.92, 116.21, 114.50 takes it back to this little low double bottom area. You can still get cycles to the bottom and still not oversold. So yes. Key resistance now is that neckline 121.24. Even if it pops above there, 123.15 is major resistance now. So even on a pop back up does not invalidate the pattern. And just for at this point, it's not a stop reduction level yet. So your stop still technically is around about 125.60. But even on a pop up to that just above this 50 is the 50% from this move down. So I'd be watching for a rollover play again if it does pop up. There's your Qualcomm. DDS. Well, it's holding the rotation zone. It's below the 200. Your dividends out of the way, and you closed at least below your major support level last Wednesday. So yeah, I would not be trading this. The only way, this has a great stop level, by the way, above about 314.50. Why you get a close above there? You're back above the rotation zone and back above the 200. But I would definitely be looking for a breakdown play in Dillard's. Any pop, you can see here, this is major weekly support. Major. So yeah, that could be an interesting play back into September, October, the low areas as a first target. Yep, I like that from the short side. Also, this is a very ill-formed. You can see it on the weekly. It's still valid, but it's lower probability. So if you wanted a little further stop, you'd use the stop on a close above 316.62. But yeah, I'd be watching for the breakdown play there. All right, let's jump back and just double check the SPOOs going into, already broke the little key support. Next little key support in the open is 41.59. We get below that, I'm really targeting that 41.48 to 41.50 area. But we'll have to see. I need internals confirming. All right. You are welcome, Paul. You are welcome, John. Thanks for pointing out DDS. Sashi. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for looking at Qualcomm, Christoph. So I gave my overall market thoughts to be prepared, but we need confirming price action now for a more substantial topping area, and I will be back after the close. Bye for now.